That's down the street. That's like third. Best chicken cheesesteak in the entire Delaware Valley. Ishkabibba. Well, that's... You're not getting...
I'll show you a dirty place.
You are a dirty. Butthole Jenkins, cut the crap. I need those dong picks.
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
That's how you say to Butthole. Your mic's hot.
Shut up.
Butthole just heard that.
You'll be okay.
Are you sure? Now, how's this? Like, does this change the audio? Hello. What's that? You
still sound equally terrible.
Hello. 1 2 1 2. Is it low?
I'm kidding.
Mike. I'm asking Mike. It sounds the same. Yeah? Yeah, welcome welcome in. It's Sunday's typical Sunday extravaganza that you get here. Somehow, Jordan Klein has escaped this program, and it's Linguist, myself, stuck in purgatory, and Mike Awesome must have fucked up royally on the channel that he's stuck with Linguist and myself. And you're right, Mike Campbell. Eric Linguist is a little hot. He is a little testy, which means that he's ready to win some money. Is that right? Is that accurate? Is that a standard? Look, you got the DK shirt on. Who are you not to say that?
Yeah, I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to win you money. So let's go.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question.
Why is my TV not working?
Nothing's working.
Especially your brain.
Well, no, my brain. I brought something today. Okay.
What'd you bring?
Unlike you, I brought some content today. Okay. What is the best smelling cereal? Now I want you to take exactly. I want you to think about that, Eric. All right. Because you didn't think you'd wake up having this conversation, but such is life on this show. I never know what.
See, smelling and tasting are, they're two different things.
Yes, they are.
So I would say Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks are up there.
This is
Lucky Charms are not the answer.
Lucky Charms,
they smell like wet bagels.
A Lucky Charms candle. This is a cinnamon toast crunch candle.
I can do that. I can get down with the cinnamon toast crunch.
This is my favorite. The third of your options here. A little cuckoo. Cuckoo.
Nope.
Oh, come
on. Smelling. No.
Oh.
That's the weird thing. Oh, Jesus.
I'm done.
You gonna be all right over there? You need a hand? What's going on?
All right. I wanted to put it out there for the people. Okay.
Yeah, Apple Jacks is the best smelling one. Look at that. Patrick Conlon, you're a smart fella.
Yeah.
Because Apple Jacks, there's a smell to them that is much better than the taste. Like when you open the bag, you're like, oh my God, it kind of hits you in the face. You like it? What?
I love it, man. That's okay. I could get with that.
I didn't know that I was going to have to answer such a specific question, but I will say, it doesn't surprise me. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is up there. I didn't, that's probably the chalk, I would have to guess.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Cinnamon Toast Crunch definitely has a chalky feeling. Cuckoo for Cocoa, though, is going to be my 35-1 long shot. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's about time you hit one of those.
Look, you put together a couple of parlay videos here. Next thing you know, what did we go last
By
night?
the way, hang on. Time out. Before we do anything else, my guy, fantastic work over the weekend.
Thank you.
Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks is in good hands on the weekends. Eitan Shander in the house, breaking down every single game on the Odd Shopper channel. If you guys aren't clicking over at that, if you aren't signing up over there for all the great goodness, and I believe July 31st, last day to get the BetMGM promo using promo code Lindy, do that now with my boy Eitan. He's crushing the game. Actually,
the promo code is OSMLB Picks for me, so it's a little different.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but that's my promo code there. And I do find it ironic. Okay. Maybe that's the wrong term here for it. Not incorrect, but just not the best one for it, that we have talked about, and I have talked about content that I put out on a daily basis that you will just blow over and not even acknowledge. But here I am, and I knew this was going to happen. Here I am doing the weekend version of the Leans, Locks, and Likes, and it's like, my guy. I knew that was going to happen. See, look at you holding back.
It's very hurtful. I was trying to be complimentary, but
no, that's my point. Is that this is what it takes.
Well, it's kind of my point that you're a dick.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think we can end on that. We can agree to agree.
Yeah,
promo code is lick. No, it's not, Dylan. Come on. All right, let's get into this here.
Promo
Eric
code
Traub is giving you a shout out. You see that?
Hey, oh, Eric Traub. Oh, I don't want to out the man, dude. I love you. Congratulations. So happy. 5-man Oakland. Yep. Let's effing go, my guy. My guy.
Who's the Oakland of this stack, of this slate? Pardon me.
I don't know. I've been on fire in MLB DFS, and I'm not getting paid off for it. So I would just really like, this is like last week, the Angels stack. That was beautiful. Everything was great. And then Toronto matched them with 9 runs each. And that was sad times because we could have had all the money. Oakland was the absolute money maker. Shake your money maker, just like your mother gave you. Well, yeah, there's a number of spots I think I'm interested on this slate. The most obvious to me, if you're going to talk about, like, if we're just trying to run it back from last week, Baltimore in the best hitters ballpark against a popular Lodolo, I think it makes a lot of sense. But I do have some Lodolo interest too, whereas last week I didn't have any Ian Anderson interest. We'll go through some of these spots specifically, but I think Baltimore, if you're just like looking at the board, is so obvious to me as a stack to go overweight to. Lots of other really good spots. St. Louis, some interesting things to talk about. We have a different Paul DeJong back in our life, and we'll talk through some of his AAA numbers. Pitching is phenomenal at the top of the board here today. You're going to have a tough time getting away from some of it, but yeah, lots of issues for this slate, none of which being the weather, thank God.
All right, and a quick reminder here to give a shout out to the News God, just handing out DFS advice memberships like it's nothing. 5 in the chat here. So we appreciate the News God for doing multiple.
News God comes into the club. He starts, he's doing that.
Handing out bottles. Right?
Mm-hmm. Handing out bottles.
There you go.
Everybody else. We got mimosa bottle service here on the Live Before Lock show. Let's go.
I love it. Exactly, News Guy. We appreciate
for the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
All right. There was something else too that I caught, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll pop up in the chat. All right, let's jump into it here. Phillies, Pirates, Aaron Nola on the hill, and some interesting angles if you want. Let's start with a pitching matchup though, and Nola specifically, decent, pretty good K rate here against this Pirates team. So how do you look at that? And then we can kind of work into the stacks.
Yeah, there's two kind of unavoidable pitchers on this slate for me, like completely unavoidable. And it's Dylan Cease and it's Aaron Nola. McClanahan, because he's 10-5 and because it's Cleveland, even though Cleveland is substantially worse against lefties, I mean, all three of them are going to be pieces that I just think you kind of rotate. Looks like the field's doing a lot of the same things. We're looking at 39, 35, 33.5%. But I will say, this has kind of been the case on the last couple Aaron Nola slates. I feel like I don't know how Dylan Cease isn't the preferred option between those three. Like Dylan Cease gets Oakland. He gets them in it was such a weaker lineup, but I know that Oakland's been really good the last couple of days. I've been betting them nonstop coming off of that Houston series. And there's definitely some pop in the likes of Murphy, Brown, and Laureano, but I look at the K rates for a lot of those guys. You've got 5 guys in today's lineup north of 21.5%. You go over to the Pittsburgh side, and there's some guys that it's just difficult to strike out. Heineman, Newman, Van Meter, Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, a really good major league hitter back in the middle of this, batting second, Cal Mitchell, all of those guys south of 25% for a strikeout rate. There's no doubt it's a good spot. There's no doubt that Pittsburgh is not a good lineup. There's no doubt that Aaron Nola could succeed here, but when we're talking about him getting by far not by far, when he's getting nominally more ownership than the other guys, I think Cease is going to be my priority throughout the day here. I'm going to find more ways to McClanahan looking at the top pitchers tool just because he's at 30%. He's so damn good. We'll talk about Cleveland and their WRC plus against left-handed pitching because, spoiler alert, it's not good. But that doesn't mean necessarily strikeout upside. And I'm more inclined to be clicking on Cease than Nola straight up.
Yeah, I mean, look, just looking at the leverage alone here, while the gap you mentioned is somewhat existent between the ownership, it's even further when you look at where Cease is projected. And on top of that, then the leverage score that you're getting. So McClanahan, we'll dive into, as you mentioned, head first in the deep end there, is really workable with the leverage that he's getting, despite on the surface looking at 33% on the slate there. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't know where the counter would be. You're not blowing away much here with Nola, and it seems like more of a real life versus payoff scenario, whereas Cease, that Ks are going to be there. And even the difference of 5.5% leverage. I don't know if you need to be as underweight necessarily to the Cease field, since other people are jumping on what is most likely going to be an either or in Nola. Does that make sense? Like it may even work even more in your favor, Eric, going to Cease because of the leverage already on Nola as kind of that 1-2 option.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just looking at what's the strikeout capabilities here. We have him projected for 6.5 strikeouts over at Odd Chopper today, that being Aaron Nola in this spot. That's a serviceable number. By the way, the under of that looks really, really good for Prize Picks purposes. 66% expected win percentage. That's kind of the threshold I'm looking at as something being a viable play. The under's juice -122, but looks like it's still going to be a decent enough number that you can get yourself to some shares of that. But then you look at Cease, he's projected for nearly 7.5 Ks against Oakland. I think that just makes more sense to me looking at him for a strikeout more. if you're going to talk about Aaron Nola being a little higher owned, I have them projected right around the same amount of outs, within an out of each other. Aaron Nola gets a little bit of a bump in that regard, a little bit easier spot, just because of how well the top of the lineup avoids some of the strikeouts. But still, Cease has better strikeout stuff. He's projected at Odd Shopper for a strikeout more. I'm just going to take more shares of him and scoop in more shares of Cease. That's going to leave Aaron Nola as a guy that, if he ends up 40% on this slate, I'm just going to be underweight to it. I don't know how I can get overweight to McClanahan, to all three of them. Those would basically be my only three pitchers. And maybe that's something you guys want to do, but there's enough really good bats. We'll talk Atlanta, we'll talk the Yankees, we'll talk some other places where I think you still want to get to some of those expensive bats. I don't know. Do you like a preset 14 points in your lineup with Aaron Judge? That's what it kind of feels like of late. So here you go. We got to find some paths to get to these big boppers. Jordan Alvarez for Houston, a one-off I'm getting to a lot. Have to just make way for that money, and I can't get up to overweight shares of all three.
So Brubaker is an interesting area here. By the way, we leaned Pittsburgh money line, a run line in this game, just because of some variance that you've seen real life, at least with Aaron Nola, and the fact that Brubaker has 7 of his last 8 starts, pretty good, 3 or fewer runs. So there's something there in real life where we leaned Pittsburgh in the run line. But as far as just Brubaker himself, you're getting a shit ton of leverage here against this Phillies stack, who is also going to be in play. But there's enough interest drawing here with Brubaker at the very least to pop in, at a 14% top 2. So it's not like we're stretching here for, somebody like Andre Palente or even Zach Greinke.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really do this. And I love JT Brubaker. I think just playing DFS, he always ends up in the 6-7K range. And I always feel like I'm overweight to him. I don't think I can really do it on this slate. And what I'm looking at primarily is Nick Lodolo is sitting there at 7,100. And if I'm going to surpass one of McClanahan, Cease, or Nola, like if I'm going to find ways to do it, I better have guys with some better strikeout stuff. And JT Brubaker on the season, 22.6% strikeout rate for a $7,400 pitcher on a different slate. That would make a lot of sense for me. But I need guys who can kind of compete with that, upper range score. I don't think he's really that guy. And so, if I'm building 150, I think, of course, I'm going to fall into some shares of him. He's the most positively leveraged pitcher in the top pitchers tool. But Lodolo, 30.5% K percentage. If he keeps the ball in the park, I at least see paths to him. Like I get that he's overowned, and I get that there's a really good chance. I just talked about how much I like the Baltimore stack, but I think at least he can compete with a score from one of those top 3 guys, even the Max Fried type ownership going there, which I don't completely understand. But it is a Arizona team that's just bad. So maybe there's some of that. I'm just more inclined to be taking the Lodolo shot, and then even maybe a little bit of Jordan Montgomery against Kansas City than I am going to JD Brubaker. And it just purely has to do with not the best matchup. Philadelphia, still some serviceable righties. And then obviously getting the opportunity to get to Lodolo for an 8% better K rate.
Yeah, I mean, that K rate's just going to be standing out. Forget the whip, forget the ERA with Lodolo. You're just looking at 10 Ks today.
You're just looking at today being the day that he doesn't give up bombs and doesn't walk anybody. I mean, a 9.1% walk rate, 318 xWOBA on the season. You got a lot of righties here from Baltimore. 1 through 6, these guys have just been so improved. I mean, now that Urias is starting to bat and show some stuff, you get Tyler Nevin in there instead of Odor. I mean, everybody's a right-handed bat in that lineup. So best of luck to you, Lodolo. We'll get to him in a second, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of talking points there.
All right. Anything else? I mean, look, this total sits at 7. The under hit, that was one of the 9, 4, and 1 play. I think we were yesterday, what have you. But under hits in this game would be tempted. Look, it's a low total at 7. You talked about with Nola and Brubaker, chances are more likely that both of those guys are going to be in control, at least the game. So the stacks, if there's anything extra, if you wanted to look at even sub stacks for Philadelphia down to one-offs there, and really just move on to Atlanta, I think, after that.
Yeah, not really. I'm seeing Dylan Forrest, Brubaker over Ashby. They're in completely different price tiers. Like, we're not talking about the same thing. What are their prices on FanDuel? Because maybe that's what you're talking about. Maybe. Well,
I can tell you in a second here. But
JT Brubaker's 8,700 there. Lodolo's 9,200 there. Brubaker, what's Ashby? Where's Ashby on FanDuel? 8,400. Okay, so maybe he's talking FanDuel. Well, I'm not playing Brubaker over Ashby on FanDuel. I'm not playing FanDuel today, but if I were, Aaron Ashby would be far more of a consideration for me than Brubaker or Lodolo or any of those guys. I would just flat out play Aaron Ashby.
Who's got the best chance of those three to get the 8Ks? It's not even close. It's Aaron Ashby.
Lodolo's up there.
He's got a better K rate. Okay. Let me rephrase that. It's closer than not even close, but it's Aaron Ashby.
Right. But Lodolo's pulling 7.7% on FanDuel right now. Aaron Ashby's got 2% next to his name. I don't know. He just came off of his best big league start. He just got paid some serious money for a guy who hadn't really showed out yet at the big league level. That's because ERA doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's a really good pitcher. Milwaukee's in love with him. They just got an absolute discount. Under $10 million a year for that arm is just ridiculous. So get ready for him. He's going to be the left-handed guy that they needed coming out of there to go with the likes of Corbin Burns, the likes of, Brandon Woodruff. Right. They just have such a ridiculous starting rotation now, especially once they get Peralta back. It's just that's going to be a 1-4 you just don't want to face in the playoffs.
I'm almost tempted to have you close your eyes. And
Ashby is trash. This is such a bad, and ERA doesn't matter. Take. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not here for that shit this morning. We are here to talk real, intelligent baseball things. And if you say ERA matters in context of like, why did Milwaukee, one of the best at grooming baseball pitchers in creating these monsters at the starting position, why did they just give him $10 million a year? Why with incentives built up to $50 million a year over the next 5 years? Why would they do such a thing when he's got a 4 whatever ERA? Oh no.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm all on Aaron Ashby today compared to the other.
Such a puss. You're a fucking twat is what you are. Here we go.
There you go.
You're going bye-bye. Hide user.
People want to see it first.
Have a good day. Hey, guys, let's win some money, shall we? Heidi-ho, neighbor.
What happened? Did something happen this morning that we should know about?
No, I'm just lovely.
Are you upset?
I'm here to make money.
Is no longer part of this two-man crew that has to wake up at the God's early crack of dawn out west? You look like you got a haircut recently. Like, what could you be upset about? You're young. You've got a family. You've got a dog. What could you be mad about?
Nothing. I'm lovely. I'm really happy, actually.
What candle is that in the background? Is that Honey Nut Cheerios?
No, it's some shitty, anthropology candle or something. Aaron Ashby has a 4.38 ERA. Oh, no. He's 2-8. Oh, no.
No, don't look at a
He's
record.
A loser.
Don't
Terrible.
Look at the
1.43 whip. Oh, no.
Can I just ask you real quick, because I don't know what I read as you were talking here, the cyber real estate super chat. Is this like some sort of error when you copy and paste something and it doesn't transfer over? This guy just super chatted us $50. And I think it's at least worth a mention here. First and foremost, thank you. I don't understand what the hell this is. But again, maybe there was some sort of breakdown between the copy and pasting, and that's why we have that. But the bottom line is Cyber Real Estate just contributed $50 to the channel. So whatever the hell that is, I'm on board.
I love it. Dude, this is fantastic. Let me find this. Eric's pissed. No, I'm doing great, guys. I was having fun. Cyber Real Estate, $50. Scholar Mate Classic. Baseball. Double up. P equals all in. O all in catcher. 1, 2, 3 base. Darwin Natural Selection Theory. Time 2100. 2400 military time. $2,100 to $2,400. Just blossom from field of 50. 2,000 salary player. Last equals natural max salary shortstop Scholar Mate. There you are.
Yeah, we read it. We just needed you to interpret it.
Some people don't deserve to have an opinion with chat, but that was beautiful. And that was worth $50. Oh, Jorge Yakum, $50 just for the sake of matching that.
Love it. Love it. Beautiful.
You guys are the best.
Jorge is just fantastic. Seriously, where is that going to pop up? Amazing here.
He just sent you a curse. No, he didn't. He didn't.
I don't think he can send you a curse. I don't think it works like that. All right. Look, you're hanging with us before we get to this Atlanta game because it took forever to get, for some reason, through that first game.
I have no idea why.
Not me. All right. Here's the thing. You have to take advantage of this. Eric has been telling you about this. I've been telling you about this. Josh, Greg, Rasa. I know everybody on the Odd Shopper channel is making you sick by just hitting you over the head with a proverbial mallet about this BetMGM promo, but it's gone. It's gone today. Like, today is it. It's the last day. So there's a link below where you can sign up. Think about what a $200 bankroll is going to do for you. Whatever your unit size is, whatever you're betting with, $200 is going to help you immediately. If you're not on BetMGM, don't worry. We've got tons of Odd Shopper content that walks you through bets that are on BetMGM. Click the link, sign up, deposit $10, bet that 10 on any baseball game, win or lose. There's a $200 bankroll builder, no brainer, right back into your account. And what I've been telling people, Lindquist, is that if they've taken advantage of it already, tell somebody else about it. Like, be the good Samaritan, be the cool person, be the nice person in your family, your group of friends, what have you. And you can just copy and paste the link. Like, you don't even have to rewatch us. You can just copy and paste the link and tell people to go sign up. So today is it. That's it. Last day is today.
Be the change you want to see in the world. And I want to see everybody get a free $200. That's what I believe. I believe that being positive can bring real change to the world if we just put our hearts in the right place and stop being effing idiots. How about that?
Super chat from Retro Automotive Group, $60.
Oh my God. This has become a one-up super chat fest, and I cannot tell you enough how I am here for it. Dude, just $60, no comment, no line, nothing.
No.
Hey, you guys want to know nothing.
Not Eric L, Eric T. We get it. Like, there's no ageism here on the Odd Shopper Stokastic brand. So if you need help with anything, don't worry. We got you. There's a button.
He just said, for the sake of beating that, California knows how to party. We sure do. In the city.
Who said that?
City of Compton.
Oh, well, that's the regular chat.
Keep me rocking.
That for the real one. Eric T,
Welcome
just hit that button at the bottom. West. You see the money thing? It'll say, show your support for Stokastic DFS. And you can just push that button and you'll be able to super chat away. It's that easy.
Jorge Yakum, $5. Well, now with a real question, Baltimore versus Cincy. Both have horrible pitchers. Who is your best stack from DK for this match? It's Baltimore. It's not close. Cincinnati is really popular today. They're really popular. Austin Voth is terrible, so I get it. But Cincinnati is so difficult for me to get to any kind of realistic amount of today. I don't know how to do it in an interesting fashion. For this to be the most popular team on the slate is bonkers to me a little bit. Milwaukee's a little bit more popular.
Too.
But what?
Like, Voth has been limiting 1 run over his last 3 starts, 0 over 2 1/3.
He's terrible. Stop.
I'm just telling you that for a guy who can get you 2 innings and give up 1 run, it's people are getting to Cincinnati like they're going to put up 10 in the first inning. That's my point.
But here's the thing. Cincinnati
is not going to happen.
I'm with you. Well, I really hope it's not going to happen because I'm so underweight on this team. It's not even funny. I think they're probably one of the easier fades of this slate is just remove Cincinnati out of your pool.
Yep.
Take whatever happens from there. So Baltimore is definitely the side I want more of, even if I do have Lodolo interest on the other side and 15% of my lineups like I currently do.
All right, let's go to Atlanta here. Another decent here at 8 the total. Arizona is a heavy dog coming into this. And start with the pitchers, the pitching matchup at least. You've got Fried and Kelly, which actually is a little more interesting than just the matchup on the surface. Kelly adds a little more of a dynamic here, 9K. So I get that not a lot of people are getting to him against this matchup per se. But here's the thing. You do have a lot of leverage if, in fact, you are spending down and saving money in stacks, and you were looking to get to him a little bit. My only point of it is that even if you got to 1.5% of Merrill Kelly today, you're pretty much ahead of the field there.
Blitz? I wish. But no, Merrill Kelly, Max Fried. This is just 2 pitchers that I think on different slates I would get to a lot of. As it stands right now, I find it hard to get to either one of them. And Max Fried, 19.9% ownership. If you're going to get to one of them, you get to that side of it. Just because it's the far better matchup going up against Arizona. You neutralize a lot of those lefties. I mean, they have like Luplow because he's terrible, and they've kind of realized that. Even if he does have power, he's been demoted to the bottom of that order. We're looking at an Arizona team that has just too many guys, whether it's Varsho, McCarthy. They've got a lot of lefties that they have to roll out by necessity because they don't have any good righties coming in there. This Kennedy fellow back in the lineup, Kelly leading off. Kelly would be the one bat I would have actual interest in on the Arizona side. But as it stands right now, like, how do you get to Max Fried with a 23.3% K percentage when there's 3 pitchers with exponentially better K rates above him, 2 pitchers with exponentially K rates below him for cheap? I just find him to be a casualty of the slate a little bit. Could he go 7 innings, get 6 Ks, and just get you the win and be all set and dandy? Sure, he could definitely do that, but there's still more of a floor attached because he's got to kind of come out unscathed. He's got to get more strikeouts than what you would be projecting in this spot. So I get it. He's safe. He feels safe, but man, I'm not playing safe with Max Fried today. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As for Merrill Kelly on the other side, it's just such a tough spot. He does get increased K potential. There's only one bat who strikes out less than a 23.7% clip on the entire team. But they're all between 23 and 26%. So it's nothing that's like, oh, here's an auto K. They all have crazy power. And Merrill Kelly, just a 20.1% K percentage, even if he limits hard contact. It's an afternoon game in Atlanta. It's going to be 85 degrees. The wind's blowing out into the left field. It's just going to be a tough spot for him. So Merrill Kelly, again, different slate, maybe not today.
No, and look, that total is too low. Let's be honest. 8, even 8.5, you can make that argument. So that would be the play for sure. Or just take Atlanta on the run line because they're going to outlast Arizona. With that said, and if you just look at where we have projected here for the Braves on site, I mean, again, maybe it's just victim of the slate, or maybe it's just people looking at probably not Kelly because he's not even getting that much ownership. But I'm a little surprised that Atlanta is even a positively leveraged stack, to be honest with you.
I'm not, because Merrill Kelly's been a good pitcher. He's been a good pitcher this season. A 280 xWOBA, 219 expected batting average. But for me, this lineup is really good. It's a really good lineup every single day that they roll out there, especially now that they're not rolling out Robinson Cano randomly. Thank God, against righties here. But Merrill Kelly, he's been decent enough, but the park, the weather, the power that exists in this lineup, whether it's Austin Riley, William Contreras, his brother, Dansby Swanson, Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris in the 9-hole, super expensive. You want to get completely contrarian. One of my 3 main teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, Atlanta. I think that just playing Michael Harris there at the back end, the guy's been ridiculous. He's one of the best fielders in baseball at the center field there. He's regressed a little bit here, but the price hasn't really changed. He's still 5K, but 9 homers, 284 average, 808 OPS out of the 9-hole. Hey, I'll take the one piece in order to get different there, add it into the fray, getting a little bit different there. I mean, he's under 1% owned. That doesn't seem right to me.
No. All right. And just looking at this again, the chat echoing it as well, where it's like, don't love the Braves. Kelly's good, but talking about just ultimately the ball going out the wind there. I don't know how one could work and the other not, where if you like the fact that both of these pitchers stand at least a decent chance of being victimized here, that total is just way too low. All right, let's move to Washington.
You think the total's too low in that one?
I again, look, you don't trust Fried. Mm-hmm. Kelly, I think Kelly.
It's not that I don't trust Fried. I just don't see the crazy upside the way that I do with, I don't know, 5 other pitchers on the board today.
Look, in general, to be fair, we liked the Atlanta run line.
Okay.
But based on the 2 pitchers and the 10 wins and the 3.03 ERA and all the things you can point to for Kelly and Fried, it seemed like it was a little overreactionary. Maybe this would be more of an 8.5, maybe even 9 type line. But again, I've been wrong before, Eric.
Gotcha. Love it.
You want to move to Washington?
Okay.
Have you lived in that area? By the way, I spent 2 years in Washington, D.C.
Don't say the word live around me, please.
You don't want
bite your tongue.
Oh, come on. You're not one of these people, are you?
Yes, I am.
Really? Like, do you have nothing better to do than complain about a junior varsity golf circuit? Really?
Oh, well, hey, you called them what they are, so that's great.
Yeah,
I
because they don't
that.
they shouldn't impact your life like that. This is why you're upset. Webb Simpson is gone now, and this is why you're upset. Or Bubba Watson, right?
I don't know. I'm fading Tony Finau for the 2nd straight showdown. Very excited to lose all the money again.
All right, let's go to Washington here. Is this it? Is this Juan Soto's last game as a Washington National?
Maybe.
They couldn't be happier to get rid of him, right? So maybe
that doesn't seem appropriate.
Well,
I would think
allegedly,
you have one of the best players in baseball. You might want to keep him.
Not if you're playing. I'm talking about his teammates who have pretty much had the fact that he's just like, look, I want out of here. But this could be like the reverse win-win for the Gipper, where Washington is just so relieved that they have a guy who has mentally quit on them, that they're just going to go out there and smash St. Louis. Andre Palante.
16% K percentage. He's terrible. 45. I don't know why I turned into like that thing from what is that? That's Star Wars Episode 2 of the Imperial Senate. Andre Palante, 45.8% hard hit percentage, a 262 expected batting average. I don't think he's very good, but I don't think this lineup is either. It's definitely going to be Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Nelson Cruz. Oh, Brian Hayes scratched. All right, well, maybe I like Aaron Nola a little more here. We'll see who ends up getting thrown in there in the mix. Nobody good, we'll put it that way. But Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Nelson Cruz, nobody else. Yadiel Hernandez might eventually do something. That'd be cool. It's the ball really, really low, but that's a different conversation. Learn to loft the baseball, young man. Andre Palante's not good, so maybe that can kind of be overlooked for all other things. Seems to be a decent game environment here as well, so I'm with you. I think that you could definitely get to some Washington here. 86 degrees, wind blowing out once again, but I don't really like this lineup all that much. I'm definitely more inclined to play Soto, Bell, have them as like a secondary stack to kind of mix into some of my more popular stacks. They're getting ownership though. Lane Thomas is almost 15% owned today. He's 2,300. If you're playing cash, he definitely gets consideration, but I'm not. And so he doesn't get much consideration from me. Much more Soto, getting a little bit of Nelson Cruz, even though I don't really feel all that great about it at this point in time in his career. I'll feel better when he's wearing a Twins uniform next week, but yeah, right. It'll be an enjoyable conversation later in the week. Next week when I start
probably going to St. Louis. You want to take odds?
I definitely want to go to St. Louis. Now, here you go. Josiah Gray.
Yep.
This dude, this is going to be a conversation piece because he's 27.1% K percentage. There's a 420 expected slugging, though, attached to him with a 319 xWOBA. Those are very bad numbers. And I could see in the same way that Lodolo has upside, I think Josiah Gray is somebody that I'm going to have in my pool and be a little bit overweight too. Because I at least see the path. He's only 4%. It's not hard to get that above the field on 4% ownership for Josiah Gray. And I do think that there's a clear path to him being capable out there. You get, though, this St. Louis lineup that if you're getting the AAA version of whatever we just saw from Paul DeJong, because they sent him down there for a while. And I don't know if people were paying attention, but he raked at the AAA level. 249, 313, 552, 17 home runs in 51 games in Memphis, 54 RBIs, stolen base, whoop-de-doo. But I'm just saying, that isn't nothing. We're talking a home run every 3 days. That's the AAA version of like what Aaron Judge is doing, basically. He had a crazy bad streak to start off this season. They thought that they had shored up the position. They truly did not. But now that they've shifted out Sosa, they've shown that they have the ability to go to DeJong with confidence again. If he's fixed some of his strikeout stuff, he's at a 29% K percentage for the season. That is a huge addition to this lineup. So batting seventh today, I just have to be massively overweight to that early and often here. He's 3K. I'm going to be getting to a lot of this St. Louis lineup 1 through 7. I don't really see any reason to play Austin Romine in a million years. And Corey Dickerson, I never roster, so there you go. But I feel pretty confident 1 through 7, St. Louis is going to be one of my most rostered stacks when I'm finished crunching everything.
All right, so we go to Boston here, 9.5 total. Milwaukee on the road, decent 135 favorite. But look, you've been seeing Charles reminding you, so we always appreciate when the community reminds others to hit the thumbs up button. And as much as we've been pounding this whole thing about the BetMGM and how much this thing is gone, really, following tomorrow, this is the last day today, we want you to jump on here for this Stokastic Plus Platinum Pass, where you're going to get full access to everything that we have, all the premium content, the tools, what you hear us reference all the time. So if you're new to Stokastic Plus, you can save 50% on your first week. I don't know if it's going to get any higher than this. This is pretty much like, all right, we went from 15%, 20%, 25. It's now at 50% your first week, Stokastic Plus Platinum. And there is the code MLB Live. All right. It's all one word. It's the show. It's all caps. You know the drill when you check out. We've been telling you about this, but again, 50% off. And much like the BetMGM, we see this all the time because we live in a society where people just say, yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. That's what you tell your significant other. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. That's why you had a fight yesterday, this morning, tonight. You don't even know about it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Stop waiting. The BetMGM thing's going to be pulled away from you tomorrow. This thing may be gone tomorrow too. So what the hell have you been waiting on to get 50% off any weekly package where you can put this thing to use right away? And then you can see how people like Eric Lindquist and others on this channel continue to win you money. It's easy. MLB Live. That's the code. Let's move on to Boston. Ready?
I just love when I hear, well, like you get to this place in your voice where it goes, and I love it so much. It's my favorite thing about you, Eitan. There's not much to like, but I'm saying my favorite thing about you is when you're just like, don't you want to get the package?
The package.
There it is. See, you just got this. I mean, there's no doubt you're a professional and I'm not, because I can just hear it.
No, I hear you do your leans, locks, and likes in one take too. You knock it out of the park there. You can't sit for 25 minutes straight without being a pro.
I'm really worried about Paul DeJong today. Why do I have so much of this bastard? Oh, this is not going to be good. It's going to be very, very bad.
9.5 total here.
Okay.
For Boston. And just to save you the trouble, we already locked up Milwaukee on the money line because they are a slim favorite on the road. You've got Ashby versus Wink. Who's the most favorite? Wink. The guy from Seinfeld. Not Wick. Wink. Josh Winkowski. Is there a more famous Wick?
I have an admission.
You don't watch Seinfeld?
I don't like Seinfeld.
Oh,
I've watched it. I don't like it.
That's fine.
And it has nothing to do with the cast, because I think Veep is one of the best shows of all time. Like, Veep is outrageously good. But I don't know what it is about that show. It just doesn't do it for me. It never has, and I don't think it ever will. And I feel bad because people reference it all the time to me and expect me to know everything. And it's like, I know Friends, I know The Office, I know everything else. Even if it's not my favorite stuff, I generally watch them. Seinfeld, I couldn't tell you a single reference.
Oh, that's fine. But look, you cast a wide net, right? With the expectation that more people than not would get it. Look, I'll agree with you to an extent here, where just watching a ton of it, especially reruns and such, George Costanza / Larry David's character, I think he is the most overrated, off-putting in the show, and just yells a lot just to yell. Like, he's just yelling. Why? What? Oh. And that's not really funny, but it's mixed in there. So I can see how somebody like you could be put off by that. I could see,
but Costanza, I thought it was what's his face that was more of the Larry David type.
George Costanza. No, that's Larry David. You're thinking of Michael Richards Kramer.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. You're right. Yep.
All right.
We were thinking of the same guy. Perfect. Just making sure.
This is a nice little segue here to go back to something we talked about. So what I'm going to do is step back and just remove myself from even this microphone, and you're going to unload a full clip on people who are ripping Aaron Ashby.
Guys, quit using ERA as a gauge of whether somebody is good or not. Now, sometimes you'll see a 6.5 ERA on somebody like a Lance Lynn, and that can be concerning because you've seen in the past but it's generally because the underlying stuff that actually matters is wrong. But when you're talking about Aaron Ashby, this is a guy with a 27.3% K rate, a 34.4 hard hit percentage, a 344 expected slugging. The only issue he's really had, period, at the big league level is a 9.8% walk rate. He keeps the hard contact down on the ground too, a 2.2 degree average launch angle. He has elite stuff. This team is in love with him. Again, I just feel like I've talked about him so many times where we were just expecting positive regression here sooner rather than later. We got it against Colorado. 26.2%, 26.2 DraftKings points there last time out, 7 innings pitched, 10 ground balls to only 3 fly balls. That's the kind of stuff you're going to get with Ashby. Oh, to go with 9 strikeouts because he's that kind of a dude. Now, are there still going to be some growing pains for him? Sure, there are. And is he still going to get hit up from time to time against good offenses? He sure is. But there is no way in God's green earth that I'm not going to play Aaron Ashby when he's 3.4% over on DK today. There's no way in God's green earth I'm not going to be massively overweight to Aaron Ashby in this kind of a spot. So it is what it is. You can say what you want about ERA being an indicator of anything. It's not very good. Expected ERA, we can start having a conversation about a little bit more of what matters. And a 3.52 expected ERA compared to his 4.38 ERA, that screams positive regression for me. The guy is just going to be so good at this level. Prepare yourself, because the sinker just keeps the ball on the ground. And that is how you be successful. You get strikeouts, you get the swings and misses. He has that with that slider that, if you look at the overlay on like Pitching Ninja, he's absolutely incredible. A 40.5% whiff percentage with that pitch, a 27.5% put away number. I have all the Aaron Ashby and all the land today, and I will continue to.
All right. Couple of things here as we move to really on the other side with Boston and then into the slates. First, Intoxicated Fan, Friends is the ERA of sitcoms. Might be the funniest fucking thing I've seen on this chat in a long time. And
Wait,
I don't mean to hate on Friends. I just mean to laugh at somebody else hating on Friends.
I mean, Friends is not terrible.
That's a pretty funny
decent
statement, though. You, as somebody who has a fat head of Ross on your wall, can admit that.
We were on a break.
Oh, man. Other thing.
You never know what you're going to get on these Sunday shows, do you? You just never know. We are unhinged. I say things because I'm tired. I'm just having my coffee.
Yep.
I got up at 6:30 and people are already asking me, Eric, which one of these three pitchers do you want? I'm like, dude, it is 6:30 a.m. and my dog just took a shit and I have to pick it up. Yep. And I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to have to do this. I have to feed him, though, because I'm responsible for another life. And that's the kind of man that I am, is I take care of my business. But you know what? If you ask me a 1v1v1 at 6:30 a.m. and I respectfully do not respond, that is why, because we have things to do.
Now, you might be in violation. This is the second thing that we have to figure out. You might be in violation because allegedly, you made a Silver Spoons reference while poo-pooing Seinfeld.
Silver Spoons.
Okay, you didn't make
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. See, that's why we checked. Oh, you did. I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay, I apologize.
Wasn't me. Na.
Yeah,
wasn't me. And got me in the corner.
All right, hey, real
wasn't
quick.
Me.
What are you doing with Boston against
She got me on camera. Wasn't me.
Negative
Boston.
leverage.
Oh yeah, Boston on
Negative
the other side.
Leverage.
Yeah. Let's not roster.
Not scumdackering this.
I can't really. So look, Boston, for whatever reason, is pulling some ownership. Like they really are. I don't want to do it. 8.2% ownership share. The two teams that Eric Lindquist does not want to have do anything today are the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
I think Milwaukee to be pretty unavoidable. Ownership share, we've got 11.7%, top stack percentage, 11.7%. Seems like those two things match up. Not a crazy amount of negative leverage. I will say what's fun about day in, day out with Milwaukee is it just feels like you're always getting a discount for whatever reason on one Rowdy Tellez. I don't know why. He's only at 10.8%. Maybe there's just a lot of first base options, which I don't really think is the case day in, day out, but 4,600 for him. Mm-hmm. Just play him against every righty from now until forever, because apparently he's got it going in such a real way throughout this entire season. Came out of the middle of nowhere for me. He's got a 488 expected slugging on the year now. He's been damn good. 351 ex-WOBA. Just give me all of that you got in a bag of potato chips. But looking over at the Boston side, this Jalen Davis character leading off, I don't really think I can do that. They have some interesting things in this lineup with Yolmer Sanchez, Jackie Bradley Jr. I get it. If you want to get to JD Martinez, 490 expected slugging against any lefty, sounds great. That is just fine by me. But I don't understand why Xander Bogaerts is getting 13.4% ownership, maybe a positionality scarcity type thing. Christian Arroyo is 10% ownership. I have 0% of that fool. Bobby Dahlbeck's the only guy that I'm really getting to in this lineup because he's got first base, third base eligibility. He's a guy that long-term, I know Terry McBride, shout out him, on previous shows together, we've talked about a lot because we both expected a lot better things than what we've gotten out of him. He's still got a 32.2% K percentage, but he's got a 45.5% hard hit percentage. It just never goes to the right place. That's why he has a 210 expected batting average and a 372 expected slugging. But I have a little bit of him. if you wanted to get to JD and add him into the fray, sounds great. But I have other guys I would rather play. I'm not playing Christian Vasquez at 8%, 10% when he's batting cleanup. It just doesn't matter to me. Ashby keeps the ball on the ground enough. Obviously there's enough power here that guys can still get it out of the park, but I'm just not going to be landing on Boston today.
No, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. And especially as you lay that out with a comparison, I should say, to Cincinnati. Before we move, actually, I think that's it, right? We move to New York now.
Yeah, we can go.
Okay. So this is going to be Greinke. I mean, the numbers here are going to scream for themselves, clearly. So as much as you're staying away from both Cincinnati and most recently here, what are you doing with Boston? What do you do? I mean, the Yankees have a pretty good chance here, pretty good shot here to get to Greinke. And still, with the cost expected, I get it. The Stacks score, and maybe it's just compared to Dodgers, we know are in Coors. We just talked about Milwaukee against Winkowski, yet still the Stack score is pretty low compared to the other two there, and really just equal with a couple of other squads kind of in that top end of the middle tier. And you're getting like even leverage for the Yankee stack. So if you spend your money wisely on pitchers, this should seem like a pretty good stack to get to, no?
Yes and no. It's the Yankees. I mean, they're the best offense in baseball. They have the best hitter in baseball. I can't say anything negative in that kind of a regard, but it feels as though, I mean, I'm just kind of struggling with what to do exactly with the Yankees at the moment, because Greinke is terrible. He's awful. He's no good. He's very bad. But this comes down to like, all right, this is the one offense that it's just not a freebie to get to the guys that I want to get to. Aaron Judge, Matt Carpenter. And why is Carpenter batting 7th today against Greinke? I don't know. Maybe they want to just move Benintendi up, get him in a rhythm. They can stack. Obviously, they're getting the lefties in, batting 3rd, batting 5th, batting 7th there, going up against Greinke and just kind of alternating a little bit, right, left. But I don't really know what I want to do when you're talking about a 22% owned Aaron Judge at 6,200. He's going to be popular. And it's like, if I just fade him and he doesn't go yard, which feels like he constantly does. I mean, it's just like he's built in 14 points. I said that earlier, but it's like, if I remove Aaron Judge it's so hard to play him alongside some of the more expensive pitchers, unless you're just playing him as a one-off. So it's like, does this Yankee stack come in underowned, like the likes of Carpenter, Rizzo, Gleyber Torres? I mean, these are pretty expensive bats, all over 4,500 to be getting up there. You throw in Benintendi, 4,400. You can't play Shane McClanahan with those guys. You can't play the combination of like a McClanahan Cease or a McClanahan to Aaron Ashby even. It's so hard to make that stack work without playing the same 2K guys that everybody else is going to get to. As it stands right now, I'm underweight to New York, but I'm really struggling on what to do. In the next 25 minutes, we'll kind of see what emerges. But I think Aaron Judge, if you land on him as a one-off, he's been the best hitter in baseball all year long. He's hit a home run in like 10 of his last 11 games or something stupid like that. So whatever, but more of a cash play for me than a tournament play. I'm going to try to find a way to get away from it. All
right. Royals, I mean, Salvador Perez, he's back.
Yeah. So, and he hit a home run right out of the gate to burn all the Garrett Cole and all the land. Well, actually, that was Isaiah Kiner-Falefa just biffed it for Garrett Cole in that spot. And then Garrett Cole, he salvaged 17 or 18. He didn't win you anything. That's for damn sure. But that was kind of frustrating because I'm generally somebody who shorts Garrett Cole on those slates when he's super, super popular. I thought getting to about the field or a little bit over was more of the play on that slate with the way that the projections were working out here at Stokastic, and just wanted to get overweight to him a little bit. And if he gets away from that one play, you're probably looking at 25-30, and I have a different Friday night than what I did. But yeah, I'm not going to be playing Montgomery. That's for sure. Oh, a little bit. I have 3% as it stands right now. I get if you want to get to him in your pool. Kansas City long-term here without Benintendi, without some of these other pieces, they're just not a very good team. They get this Michael Garcia fella in here. He's got a 38.5% K percentage so far this season. Nick Prado has been up there for a little bit, 29.5%. Lots of strikeouts above expectation there. Basically just Whit Merrifield and Vinny Pasquantino, the guys who strike out under 23% in that lineup. They're all the way down to sub 15% for what it's worth. But Sal Perez, lots of power. Michael A. Taylor, okay to get to. Bobby Witt back in the picture, which is a great thing to see for this lineup. Glad to see him there. It's an offense I'm getting to more than what you would think for a team with a 3 implied total. Specifically, Bobby Witt, Sal Perez. Give me all of that you got.
All right. Witt and Sal, just making sure.
Yeah, those are the two against Jordan Montgomery, who could definitely give up some yards.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Some bombs, some high flying. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I've been doing too many underdog drafts the last couple of days. I can tell you that. It's been beautiful, but
good
talk. Glad we had it.
Well, I was going to give you something on Jordan Montgomery, but I couldn't find it.
Jordan Montgomery against righties, 417 slugging, giving up a 314 WOBA. Against lefties, he's been complete shutdown. I've been trying to take the Pasquantino shot. I actually have one of my main. I need to figure out how to get him out of this thing here quick. But against lefties on the season, a 186 average, a 186 WOBA. That is so damn low. A 1.89 xFIP against lefties, completely shut down. Yep. But against righties, a 4.51 FIP. Just saying. I think that there's some upside from a couple of these Kansas City bats, and we already know who they are. But I don't even have Melendez in my pool today, which is just wild because he's been one of the better catchers, one of the better catcher plays over the last however long. But batting 7th and left on left, Montgomery just shuts them down.
All right, Random, appreciate the super chat there. Want to make sure that we acknowledge everybody giving us money by all means. Definitely not necessary, but always appreciated. And we go on. I think that's pretty much it, right? With the Yankees-Royals game.
You're just so calm now. Yeah. No, it's great.
Well, why wouldn't I be calm? You haven't given me any reason to get upset yet.
Yeah, no, of course I haven't. I'm perfect.
By the way, did you get under 6.5 Ks on DK earlier today at plus 150?
I didn't.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Man. Why not?
I don't know, because I hate money.
Because you were too busy cleaning up dog shit.
I was. It's inappropriate.
By the way, real quick question. Charles Moran, right, brings up, now he asked in the sense of a strain of bud, because Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies is a strain that you can smoke. But if we were to open up the conversation and go from just cereal to cookies, what is the best smell of a cookie?
Ooh.
Let me just say real quick, the Oreo is a very underrated smell. Very underrated. A chocolate chip is
oatmeal chocolate chip or something of that nature. That would have to be up there. The oatmeal candle aroma. I feel like that's a hit with the ladies. I feel like that's a go-to.
Okay. Snickerdoodle underrated. By the way, Retro Automotive Group doing its best to prove that it's not a bot, as it was accused earlier. The person has been responding left and right. What are you talking about?
Looks like a bot, smells like a bot. You probably have a bot-scented candle or something.
Right, absolutely. Let's
Who
go.
is Alex Call? Who is this? Why is he ruining my spreadsheet? He plays for the Guardians. I didn't know that human being existed. Apologize to his family, who I'm sure are watching this program right now.
All right, let's go to Tampa. But before that, you see it on the screen here. We have to tell everybody about what's going on. Yahoo Fantasy this season. You know, we're partners again, so we want to give you a free month. Free. Is that, how do I say it according to you?
Free 99.
Free 99. Free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. Free month. That's it. Like, it's free. Free. So you need to be new to Yahoo. Sign up for an account. That link below is there for you, so you can sign up with that link. You don't even have to do any work. We've provided the link for you. Sign up with that link and you'll be good to go. Any issues you have, make sure you jump right in. You can email support@stokastic.com. We'll get you set up. If not, once you've signed up, you'll claim that $10 via the Yahoo 10 link in the description below. And then your free month of Stokastic plus Platinum, you have access to everything. All specifically for Yahoo, as you'll hear Eric and others reference that. So this is it. You want to jump in on this right away, ASAP. And it's there for you, courtesy of Yahoo. So thanks. Lowest total on the board in Tampa, Shane McClanahan. And I mean, it's everything starts and ends with McClanahan here. All right. For a guy, mind you, who doesn't even have that bad of a negative leverage if you're just spending accordingly here. So what are you doing with McClanahan? How much are you getting to him? Do you anticipate? His leverage has gone down, to be fair, but how much do you anticipate getting to him of that 33.1% of the field right now. Why are you muted?
Son of a biscuit. God, just talking to myself.
By the way, who's the most famous athlete with Rowdy in his name? Is Rowdy Tellez up there?
Yeah.
Not Rowdy
Soldier
Roddy
Boy
Piper?
Tellez.
Not Rowdy Roddy Piper?
No, but he's Soldier Boy Tellez to me.
Okay.
That's what he is. That's my nickname for him. I don't think that's what he's actually called, but Rowdy, definitely he's the chalk. I can't think of another Rowdy.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
You just made that up.
Oh my God. We can't talk anymore.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll talk about something that actually matters.
Oh, yeah.
Eric's like, so dumb.
They live doesn't matter.
Shane McClanahan. Shane McClanahan is really good at pitching baseballs, and we want to get to him whenever we can. 35.4% K percentage. I don't care about Cleveland and their strikeout avoidance numbers. We're talking about somebody who can overcome just about any matchup ever. But the big thing for me with Cleveland is these pronounced splits that they have in terms of run creation against left-handed pitching on the season. Above a 100 WRC plus against the righties, but against lefties, second worst in baseball, 77 WRC plus and just a 106 ISO. That is dead last in baseball. Makes all the sense in the world to be overweight to Shane McClanahan here. The issue I was having before was that there weren't enough pieces that I thought I need. I found it hard to be able to play him alongside Cease. Nola, I was landing on Cease the most. I think I still am. But I'm getting overweight to Cease and McClanahan. Aaron Nola's falling a little bit by the wayside as a result. Everybody knows my Ashby, how much I'm getting to of him. Nick Lodolo being in the mix. Those are kind of the five guys. What?
I was reminding people that's not Nick Lodolo, by the way.
That is not Nick Lodolo. That's a Rowdy, obviously. Hot Rod on his shirt. I've never seen something more 80s than that in my life. Just
you have to watch
in the face with the 80s.
You just, I'll pay you. How much do you get paid per hour? I'll pay you to watch They Live. Seriously, like I'm not even joking. I will Venmo you the amount for what you get paid per. You don't have to tell anybody. I'm not asking you to out.
I'm on salary. What are you talking about?
Well, you could break it down. You could break it down into an hourly rate.
I mean, we could figure that out.
Okay, I will pay you the 90 minutes. It's to sit down and watch They Live.
Fine.
Okay. Now, is there anything at all you can do with Cleveland here just because of where we are?
0%. You're not touching a single share. You're not playing any. I don't care. Even if you're one of those people who try to get creative and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to stack against the most popular pitcher on the slate.
Nope.
I still don't know how you land on a single share of any Cleveland batter. And that includes Jose Ramirez, which is wild to say out loud, but I have 0% of any Cleveland bat. And I think you should too.
Love that. And I guess the other side of it is Tampa, just seeing how low, I mean, Brian Shaw, but just seeing how low this total is, it can't simply be all McClanahan here.
See, well, it's a 4 implied total. Yeah, 6.5. I still like the under for what it's worth. Brian Shaw is going to be in there for 4.8 seconds. Looks like it's going to be Kirk McCarty that's going to be getting the bulk of the innings. He's been stretched out. He's gone to 85 pitches. Well, that was on the 2nd of July. He's not very good at all. So there you go. Tampa Bay, they're okay to get to some pieces of. I mean, for me, it just comes down to getting to Brendan Lau anytime. 5,300, he's going to be a contrarian spin-up option. What's really interesting to me, G-Man Choi leading off today, 3,700 at first base. That's a guy that I can get down and drop the eagle on, girls. So we can get to a little bit of that.
Did you think that nobody would catch that?
Oh, I don't
Owen
care.
Miller scratched. All right, let's move to Cincinnati.
Oh, hold the presses.
I'm just letting you know.
Gee, thanks. The 0% of any Cleveland bat thing.
Somebody had Owen Miller today. I guarantee you we saved somebody out there.
No, we didn't.
Butthole had him before he bounced. And look, we screwed him. Unbelievable. All right, so Cincinnati. Nick Lodolo.
Here we go.
59% K rate, 5.0 whip. What are you going to do with it? Somewhere in between those numbers, of course.
Yeah, so I had 15%. When I did the crunch before the show. I'm getting to a little bit. Yeah, 15%. He's got a 30.5%.
I know, it's hard to ignore. I get that.
It's pretty wild. I mean, he reminds me, he's a poor man's Chris Sale. I think that's the best way to kind of describe him because The guy can really get after it. He's got like a mid-90s fastball, so a little bit different, but the curveball could do some things. He's got a 51.5% whiff percentage, a 29.3% put away percentage on the season. The problem is that sinker, at the same time that it's effective, his primary pitch, it gets beat up. 363 xWOBA on the season, a 310 batting average. Got to change that. And the changeup is a complete negative. It's just a bad pitch, so don't throw it. Fastball, curveball, just throw that as many times as possible, young man. But a 30.5% K percentage is pretty noticeable on a slate like this. And if you're going to find ways to be able to save money, get to McClanahan or Cease, Nola, if you want to go that direction. If you want to get to some big bats on this slate alongside one of those stud pitchers, I don't know how you don't get to some Lodolo. And I know the top 2 pitcher percentage is not great for him. He's at 10.5%. He's the most negatively leveraged pitcher on the slate. But I think it's kind of a result of what else do you want to do with your bats? And if I'm going to get contrarian with some of these stacks the way that I am, I think that there's still a path to get overweight not overweight to Lodolo, but still get some shares of Lodolo because of what that upside can look like. I don't want to play 28% of him like the field, but I'm gonna still get to some shares.
Okay. And getting to him at what, 13%, you said? I'm just looking at where the field is on the most.
He said 28%. I mean, it's pretty popular. Yeah. Again, 15%. We'll see what finishes up here. I'm going to get my crunch in like 7 minutes. I'm just finishing everything up, but
I guess my point in that was how much room does that give you to then scumdack the Orioles?
Oh, I'm scumdacking the Orioles. The Orioles are my second highest owned stack on this slate. It's the best hitters ballpark, and everything I just said about Lodolo, awesome. He can strike out bats. He also can give up some contact. So here we go. The guy has some issues when it comes down to pitching in this ballpark. 38.4% hard hit percentage isn't terrible, but it just comes down to being Great American Small Park. There are a lot of righties that are so good on this Baltimore team. I don't think it can be understated how good Ryan Mountcastle, Trey Mancini, Ramon Urias, Santander, Adley Rutschman, Austin Hayes, these guys are really, really good batters from the right side. And so I just feel like this has got to be a stack that you just get to way more than the field as it stands right now. In terms of stack score, they've come down a little bit while we've been on this show, but there's still only 3.7% ownership share. That just seems broken to me, considering this is Cincinnati, the best hitters ballpark for home runs. Give me all of these righties, especially 1 through 6. Nobody's garnering enough attention for me to get anywhere close than away from this team. It's not that nice of a game environment. 72 degrees, wind blowing in slightly, but Great American makes up for a lot of that. Give me specifically Mountcastle back in this lineup. 2,900 now for him, batting 6th. He's 4% owned. I'm going to be significantly over that.
By the way, quick response, and Mike can back this up here. A Randy Fourth. Phillies game is in trouble. You guys got anything on the weather? I don't. Oh, yeah. Geez. What am I talking about?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Right. But I have that coming through, meaning 8 here, looking at like 6:30 there. So they should get that out.
Well, I hope they have an in-game delay because I'm way underweight to Aaron Nola. So
I don't think you're going to like that delay may come 7th inning, something like that. Like the damage should already be done at that point, especially with Aaron Nola. That was my point.
Please let it be maybe I just even remove it here at this point. If there's no late start, we don't have any news on that, do we? No. Looks like it's fine. I'm not too worried about it.
All right. By the way, Baltimore, a really good play here, in my opinion, at least. Plus 105 on the money line.
Love it.
I love that. Did we
like Lodolo? DFS. This is DFS we're talking about, and that's why I think Lodolo has interest for me. Yep. Guy can strike out a lot of dudes. And Baltimore, there's some guys who can strike out there. But they also are all right-handed, and they're all capable. Everybody in this lineup outside of, Jorge Mateo, who's had moments, I suppose, and Robertson Trino's just terrible, but 1 through 7, especially, and you get a 2K Tyler Nevin. I just want to get to this team a lot in the best ballpark you could be in. 3 games, 14 minutes. Do the math. All right. Miami Mets. Let's look at this. And then I'm going to take a hit while you talk about the pitching matchup here. 7, Walker, Pablo, another guy who could be gone. This could be Pablo Lopez's last. Thought nobody was going to notice that.
This God. Cocoa, man.
Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs,
I'm
literally.
Cuckoo. It's cuckoo. All right. Not cocoa. You can't be Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. You get in trouble saying shit like that. Come on, Eric.
I have said nothing inappropriate this entire show. I don't know what you're talking about.
You never say anything inappropriate.
I never do. I'm practically perfect in every way.
We've blown through our time allotment for this game. So
yeah. Oh, cool. Time allotment. Mets and Miami.
Walker.
Let's just talk pitchers. I mean, this is probably the easiest game to break down. I have no interest in either offense. If either offense goes nuts, I'm not going to win anything. But Taijuan Walker is kind of the pitcher that I feel like I'm too low on right now. I feel, just looking at some of the projections, that I think he might be going a little bit underappreciated. And it just comes down to this Miami lineup is no good, very bad. I don't even know what I would want to get to for a share of anybody from Miami. I suppose the only guy that could have any kind of considerations is this JJ Bleday fellow or Miguel Rojas because he's shortstop eligible. Otherwise, like Lewin Diaz, no thanks. Jesus Aguilar, batting second, no thanks. Joe Wendell is 4,600, pass. Taijuan Walker's just been solid this season. And can he get enough in the strikeout department to be serviceable here? I don't really know, but it's a phenomenal ballpark. I have a little bit of him. I feel like maybe I should get to a little bit more as we start rounding down this show, especially if I'm going to be shorting Nola even more. God, he's so popular, 35.6%. We haven't even talked about Cease yet. Cease is still my favorite of those groupings. So there we go.
Yep.
Pablo Lopez on the other side, 6.5% ownership going towards him. I get it. This Mets offense is still pretty decent. Pablo Lopez, not the best strikeout stuff either here, just a serviceable big league pitcher. Has more to do with the ballpark here. He has some opportunities to maybe go further, but I'm much more inclined to take the shot on the strikeout guys being Ashby in this 8K range than trying to get to Pablo Lopez. Definitely don't want to play George Kirby against the Astros.
Yep.
But Taijuan Walker, 8,800. Kind of in a little value tier of his own. There's really nobody around him because I'm not playing Merrill Kelly or Josiah Gray, and there's nobody really within $500 of him till you get to Lopez. So Taijuan Walker, maybe somebody I should get to a little bit more of here before lock.
I'm surprised, and not that I was just waiting for an opening to disagree with you by any means, but I'm just basing off a phrase that you use. So I don't know if you created it, coined it, whatnot, but you use
Probably.
it a lot and it makes sense here, at least on this show. I mean, I'm sure like Greg Ehrenberg told you about it or EMAC told you about it and you ripped it off, but that's fine.
Everybody rips off EMAC. He was born in 1439.
Real life versus DFS and how that line can get blurred. I'm surprised that Walker doesn't fit the bill more for you, where this is a guy in real life who just does his thing, but the low K rate, you just kind of look at some things that don't really jump off the page, which may on a larger slate be means to stay away from him a little more. So that's what was surprising.
Have you heard of a Charles LeBlanc or a Lewin Diaz or a JJ Bleday? These are not your everyday dudes walking down the street. Outside of Rojas and Wendell, who do not strike out at all, everybody else over a 23.5% K percentage. There are some unknown human beings playing baseball today in Miami Marlins uniforms. So it has more to do with Taijuan Walker, only a 19.5% K percentage, but above just better strikeout position. He's not popular. He's 6.5%. It's not like he's garnering 15 or 20%. I mean, the Ian Anderson thing is still so crazy to me from last week when you were getting a 35% pitcher who had a 19.5% K percentage. This is completely different when you're getting somebody 1/7 of the ownership of that. And there's a clear path to him pitching 7 or 8 innings if he's got it going here. It's just because of how bad Miami is. So I'm okay getting to a little bit more. The ballpark's as good as it gets. So Taijuan Walker makes some sense. And Pablo Lopez, 25.5% K percentage, nifty.
11
it's just a much more difficult matchup, especially, I mean, now Vogelbach and Naquin, at the same time that they're the two guys who strike out the most in this lineup, they're still lefties who are pretty serviceable. It's just hard for me to land on Pablo Lopez today.
By the way, that total at 7 still went under.
I know.
You like that? Or you lean that? You lock it?
I'm probably just staying away because the Mets offense, but I get it if you wanted to.
You don't have the opportunity to. You are not afforded that opportunity on our videos. You have to give one of 3.
Ugh, Tinder, our girls write first. What does that even mean?
That means that you don't have to wait for somebody to initiate contact like on Bumble. Come on, cuz. Well, where are you right now? The 20th century? Step in, will you?
You're
Miami,
really
are you
rude
done?
sometimes. Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Hand bills with a chisel and stone tablet. See, now here come the EMAC ageism jokes because of you. Dylan Cease, I don't know
Well
what you're doing.
deserved.
Huh? You're not doing
Well
anything with
deserved.
Oakland. So let's just look at this here with Cease. I doubt you're getting to Adam Oller.
Aller.
Adam Oller.
Aller at. There ain't no Aller back, girl. There ain't no Aller back.
It was fine with just the one.
That's my shit. That's my shit. Changing the channel on me.
There's not, I mean, like, how many positive thoughts do you have about Oakland?
Eric Bumquist. Oh no, my feelings are so hurt. I have a lot of feelings about Dylan Cease. He's the best pitcher play, in my opinion, on today's slate. He's got a 33.4% K percentage, a 189 expected batting average, a 10.6% walk rate, and he gets a lovely day with the Oakland Athletics. And sure, they've been playing some good baseball by Oakland Athletics standards here the last few days. Seth Brown, Sean Murphy, Ramon Laureano, all of those guys, professional hitters. Stephen Piscotty joined the fray. Jonah Bride leading off is super, super cheap, but I just see a lot of strikeouts here and an opportunity for him to go completely bonkers. I think even more so than McClanahan. I mean, McClanahan gets the best possible ballpark that you could ask for as well there in Tampa, but it's one of those things where I just kind of look at the K upside, $300 less. Dylan Cease, he's my favorite pitcher to get to on this slate. I'm north of 50%.
Anything at all with Oakland? Forget the...
Nah, I talked about the three guys you could actually play, but you shouldn't actually play them.
No, that makes sense. And especially with Cease and comparing to Nola, anybody else you want to look at the slate, the price is definitely workable. We've talked about that. So a $500 difference. All good. All right. Seattle, Houston. You ready?
Ready.
And by the way, we have Cease projected 32.5%, which
nice.
is third behind McClanahan and Nola. Nola and McClanahan, respectively, now.
Yeah, I mean, the Nola thing is still, I get why it's happening, but and now Cabrian Hayes out, that doesn't exactly help me. But even a chance of an in-game delay, that would be so epic for me. It's not even funny. The other two spots, zero weather whatsoever. So there it is.
But even look at it real quick, Eric. Look at the 6 guys that are in double-digit ownership projections, right? And it'll work in reverse from Fried, Montgomery, Lodolo, Cease, Nola, all the way up to McClanahan. Last 3 guys are 30 plus. First 3 guys are below 30. Lodolo. Of those 6 guys, outside of Shane McClanahan, is there anybody that you could realistically argue, because you haven't so far, that would be better than Dylan Cease? No. There you have it.
Look at you making my arguments for me. It's almost like you love me.
I tell you who I do not love.
Who?
Jake Odorizzi.
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, that's. Are they still doing those?
I hope not.
Okay. I haven't seen a State Farm commercial in a long time. Did they pull that campaign?
Oh no, they should. Aaron Rodgers is awful. Skull.
That's of all the people in that advertisement, in that campaign, you have beef with Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, I hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Vikings fan. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I get it.
Dude.
Seattle, Houston, Jake Odorizzi. Why don't you start there, since I don't like him? George Kirby, on the other hand, you could do something with him, but these guys are just so low owned. I don't know what you're really gaining.
Yeah, you're not gaining anything with either of these pitchers. I will say Jake Odorizzi, whatever. He limits some hard contact, and we'll see. I'm really happy to see Julio Rodriguez did not break his hand. X-rays came back this morning negative. That is great stuff. So just for the brand, happy that happened for him. But yeah, I think I'm just looking more at the bats here. You can get to some Jesse Winker here. Oh, Abraham Toro's in that lineup now today. No Haggerty, no Kalenic. There you go. Cool. Good to know. So that's interesting stuff, but I'm much more interested in getting the Houston bats. And this is kind of the team that I've been waiting for here in the last however many minutes, but Houston is my third highest owned stack here on the day. I just think they're going way slept on. We're talking under a 5% ownership share. Anytime you can get to Yordan Alvarez, and I'm shorting Aaron Judge, that is the final answer here in the next 4 minutes. So lock him in for 28 fantasy points. That's for sure. But I'm going to be getting to more Yordan Alvarez as a result. I've got 28% of him. He is my big stand in terms of the one-off department. Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, like we know what we're getting with these guys, and they're coming in really, really low owned compared to what you would expect in this spot.
Anything else with Seattle? I mean, Kirby's going to be even less of a go-to clearly than Odorizzi, but the stack now for Seattle opens up something if you're not super high on Odorizzi.
I don't really want to get to too much. I said Jesse Winker is an all right, like one-off type.
That's it.
But it's just it's just a tough team for me to land on here on this slate.
All right. By the way, we went under 9 on this Peacock game. So it's 3-1 right now. Yeah, they seem to be pretty good. By the way, did you get Green Bay at -1.5 week 1 against your squad?
No, I'm going to the game, but or no, I'm not going to that game. I'm going to week 17 Packers Vikings.
If anybody out there, and this is a final public service announcement, if anybody out there got Green Bay -1.5 when this thing first opened up, it's now sitting at 2. And this is a perfect opportunity to now tease the Vikings up to 8 points. Patriots are a good tease option, something like that. Just to play with Eric.
Look at you being sharp and shit.
I found something and I thought I would pass it on. It doesn't.
I didn't know you had it in you, Aton. Look at you.
Well,
I'm kidding.
You know,
dude,
when I don't have ex-Woba.
It's almost like you've been taught by the best.
Well, I don't know how to answer that.
Well, it's okay.
And Rasa could be watching.
No.
Do you have anything left to say? We're out of here.
No, dude, this is fantastic. Let's just kind of recap. Dylan Cease, he's the guy for me. I have 56% of him. I actually ended up with a little bit of Aaron Nola. Nothing crazy, though, 20%. I'm underweight, so I didn't take any kind of a crazy strong stance against that. But, oh, my God, the amount of Sal Perez and Bobby Witt Jr. I have against Jordan Montgomery in Yankee Stadium is egregious. I'm probably going to regret everything. And then go Paul DeYoung, one-off central, getting to these Houston Astros. Some really fun tournament builds here today. I think it was a fun one. I think we did a good job of breaking it down. Smash that like button. Skull, baby. Eric McPherson. Yes, he knows. He was there for the original Vikings, I believe, back in the day. He was out there roaming the lands, the Nordic man himself, Eric McPherson, even though I don't think that's a Scandinavian name by any means.
I don't know. MAC is Scottish, right?
Yeah, I think it is too. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm Aton.
By the way, it is raining in Pittsburgh. There you go.
Good.
But it's going to be gone in 20 minutes. Watch.
Okay. I can't believe they're not late starting.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right, hit the thumbs up button.
It's not my birthday. Still not my birthday.
If you haven't, hit it on the way out. All right. That's that simple. It's that easy. We'll see you next Sunday. And just keep hanging with us. Do you have any words of wisdom you want to jump on the way out of here?
Not really.
You don't have anything positive to say? Max Homa top 20? You don't have anything there? Homa over Cam Davis?
Nah.
Nothing?
Not really. No, nothing.
All right. Tease the Vikings.
I'm a loser, baby, so somebody kill. A little bit of that. That's all I got for you.
Let me get a little Rowdy Roddy back, Mike, on the way out, huh? How about that? Gotta go watch They Live. Screw the slate. Screw the slate.
I'm Aton. I'm upset.
How could I be upset?
You couldn't be. You got to hang out.
Are
with
we
me
done? Are we still on the air?
I guess we are. I don't know what's going
on. I thought the show was over. I'm sniffing.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Here.
I would like to leave. Goodbye.